Before she wrote one of the best-selling books in human history, J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 different publishers. 12! The manuscript that would eventually sell over 500 million copies was passed on by professionals who got paid to recognize greatness and couldn't see it. One editor sent back a note suggesting she get a day job. Before Stephen King's first novel was accepted, he had collected so many rejection slips that the nail he used to hang them on the wall could no longer hold their weight. He switched to a spike. It filled up. Carrie, the book that launched one of the most successful careers in American literary history, was rejected 30 times before a publisher said yes. King threw the manuscript in the trash after the first few rejections. His wife pulled it out. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor who told him he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He went on to build the most imaginative company in entertainment history. Oprah Winfrey was told by a Baltimore TV producer that she was unfit for television news. She became the most influential woman in the history of the medium. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. The greatest basketball player who ever lived was told he wasn't good enough. I am telling you these stories not to inspire you with exception. I am telling you these stories because they reveal a pattern. Every person who eventually built something great walked through a corridor of rejection so long that most people would have turned around. The difference was not talent. Talent was in the room on both sides of every rejection. The difference was what they believed rejection meant. Most people hear no and interpret it as a verdict. This is what you are. This is the limit of what you can become. They carry it like a permanent mark, evidence of a fundamental inadequacy. And so they stop. They protect themselves from further evidence by no longer trying. They live a smaller life to avoid a louder rejection. The most successful people in history heard the same no. They interpreted it differently. Not as a verdict, but as information. This publisher is not the right fit. This audience is not ready. This version of the idea needs more work. This path is blocked, which means I need to find another one. The rejection didn't define the destination. It redirected the route. Here's a reframe that might change your life. Rejection is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path to it. Every no is a filter. It filters out the people who needed external validation to keep going. It filters out the people whose belief in their own work was conditional on other people's approval. The ones who remain after dozens of rejections, those are the people who are truly committed. The no's are doing the work of selecting for them. Colonel Harlan Sanders was 65 years old and broke when he started pitching his fried chicken recipe. He drove across America and personally cooked chicken for restaurant owners, asking them to partner with him on a revenue share. He was rejected over 1,000 times. 1,000. Before a single person said yes and Kentucky Fried Chicken was born. He was not lucky. He was persistent past a point that any reasonable person would have stopped. And the market rewarded that persistence. Think about what you have quit because it was rejected. The business idea you shelved after 3 people said it wouldn't work. The creative project you abandoned when it didn't immediately find an audience. The relationship you stopped pursuing because of a single discouraging response. Now ask yourself, was the thing itself wrong, or did you just mistake someone else's no for a permanent truth about you?
Rejection stings because we're wired for tribal belonging. Being excluded triggered real danger for our ancestors. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a rejection that threatens your survival and a rejection that is simply one person's preference on a Tuesday afternoon. That fear response is ancient. Your response to it can be modern. The practice is this. When rejection comes, and it will come, give yourself an hour to feel it. Let it land. Don't pretend it doesn't hurt, because that is just suppression in disguise, and suppression turns into paralysis. Feel it, and then ask one question. What does this redirect me toward? Not what does this say about me, but where does this send me next? You are not the sum of what has rejected you. You are the product of what you chose to do after. Subscribe to this channel if you're building something that matters. Share this video with someone who is sitting on a dream because someone told them no. And tell me in the comments, what is the rejection you are going to refuse to let be the final word? Write it down. I want to hear it.